After years of prioritizing high school talent early in the MLB draft, the Phillies took a different approach into this year's draft. And with the current state of their bullpen and recent trends in the past that haven't necessarily favored the Phillies, I like what they're doing here. And I think I'm starting to understand why that they are going the route that they did. We're going to get into all of that today on the newest episode of Phillies Digest during our little lull period here of no Phillies baseball. In case you somehow didn't see it last night, the All-Star game went 2 extra innings. Kyle Schwarber was one of the participants in the swing-off, and it took him 3 swings to hit 3 home runs, and Kyle Schwarber ended up winning All-Star Game MVP. Just another reason to re-sign Schwarber. If you haven't already heard more about that and just the whole, storyline right now with Kyle Schwarber, last video we just posted this morning from Sean Bernard, or actually yesterday, you're seeing this the following day after, Sean Bernard sent out an awesome video about Kyle Schwarber. Go and check that out on Phillies Digest if you have not already. But the Phillies took a different approach into the MLB draft this year. In years past, they've gone very high school prep heavy. Guys, Mick Abel, Andrew Painter, Justin Crawford, Aiden Miller, all prep guys at the time. Prep, high school players, pitchers, infielders, This year, they actually went the complete opposite. It almost felt like a bit at some point how many college pitchers they were taking. If you go down and look at this list, and I know it's a little hard to see with the names. Big shout out to Phillies Nation here for this graphic of all the Phillies draft picks. Gage Wood. So the first round pick, Gage Wood. The second round pick, Cade Obermueller. The third round pick, Cody Boker. The fourth round pick, Sean Youngerman. The fifth round pick, Gage Craig. The sixth round pick, Jamison Talon. Matthew Fischer was the first high school player selected. The first 6 rounds of this Phillies draft were all college pitchers. There's more college pitchers scattered around in here. Some local guys, actually. They actually did in round 11. They ended up getting a catcher. But just a completely different approach in years past. And I think with the current state of the Phillies bullpen, I think, no, it's not a lock any of these guys are going to be in the bullpen. There's probably a pretty good chance that neither of them are going to be. But they're taking a chance on potential fast tracks here. And there's some guys that I am intrigued in. There's 2 guys that I'm really intrigued in as far as fast tracks. Actually, maybe 3. And then there's one guy that I think the Phillies actually might have got the steal of the entire draft. So I wanted to look down this list really quick once again. I think we all know about Gage Wood. Gage Wood, I already made a video on this. Gage Wood, that kid, University of Arkansas, who threw a 19 strikeout no-hitter in the College World Series. I'm going to be pulling up a few sort of clips here from the huge draft tracker at On Pattinson from Tim and Grace. If you guys haven't checked that out already, I absolutely recommend doing so. It was a great article where they talk about every single draft pick in one article. So for Gage Wood, he was 4-1 last year with a 3.82 ERA, 69 strikeouts, 7 walks, a .903 whip over 37 2/3 innings pitched. The Phillies used their first-round pick on a collegiate righty that is a 70-grade fastball on the 20 to 80 scale. Brian Barber, the Phillies' assistant general manager of amateur scouting, seemed very pleased with this selection. He said, "It's quality stuff. It's a quality pitcher. It's a guy that can just dominate hitters in the lineup with 2 pitches," Brian Barber said. And we also think the slider that he has and the little split change that he threw, he ends up with a 4-pitch mix and a really quality starter. It should be pointed out that Wood dealt with a shoulder injury during what proved to be his final collegiate season, the exact nature of which Barber wouldn't reveal. But he did say we knew about the shoulder and we have all the information on it, and it wasn't anything that we were concerned about for the long term. Gage Wood, I would say, would probably be the most interesting topic from this draft. But there's 2 more that I'm really, really, really interested in. The biggest one for me is Matthew Fischer. Matthew Fischer had a first-round grade on him. I saw him being ranked at one point around 46th in total prospects, and the Phillies ended up grabbing him in the 7th round. Yes, as Joe Doyle points out here, it's going to be probably a little, and I can't even say little, it's going to be very high over the overslot deal for a 7th rounder. But if the Phillies can sign this kid, it is absolutely massive because, there's a chance he could go to college. He's a Hoosiers commit. But if the Phillies give him enough money and he knows he has a chance to start going now, I think there's a chance. And I will say, I don't think the Phillies would have taken the chance on this kid in the 7th round if they didn't have the confidence in the world to sign him. So this is what Joe Doyle said, I believe a few weeks before he got drafted. He says, the Hoosiers' premier recruit for the 2025 class, Fischer checks a number of boxes on the mound and has the look of a future college ace if he gets to school. It's a fastball up to 95 with huge spin rates and enormous cut and carry. He's holding velocity 92 to 94 into the mid-innings too. It is a captivating starting pitcher profile. Fischer is comfortable with an assortment of secondaries on the menu, including a low to mid-80s slider, a deeper upper 70s curve, and a firm mid-80s changeup that continues to improve. For now, it's a smattering of average offerings with a definitive up arrow in the scouting community thanks to the athlete, fastball value, and operation. Sorry, it's a little hard for me to see on there. Matthew Fischer is my, eyes open for this kid. No, he 100,000% will not be up this year. But the Phillies got a steal in this draft because that is a first-round talent who's already throwing 92 to 95 in high school. That's some legit stuff. Last one really quick that I wanted to point out as far as, sort of guys that stuck out to me was Gage Craig. This is from Owen Pattison again. He was from Baylor University. He had an unbelievable 2025. 3-0 with a 0.56 ERA, 51 strikeouts to 3 walks in 32 innings pitched. I believe this is from Grace. Big shout out to Grace. She said Craig's numbers certainly jump off the page. 2025 was his 6th year in college baseball. The 24-year-old began his college career at Tyler JC in 2020, redshirt, blah, 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 blah. Craig, who didn't allow an extra base hit all season, dominates with his slider. MLB Pipeline graded his slider 70 on the 20 to 80 scale. It sits in the mid-80s and can reach up to 88 with huge sweep and a good amount of depth. Opponents went 8 for 72 with 43 strikeouts against Craig's slider. This kid, I've already seen Orion Kerkering sweeper comps. It's very Orion Kerkering-like, and it's nasty. This is a kid that I also think could possibly be on the table for some sort of fast track here. It's hard to just say who you think because you just don't really know. But I will say Gage Wood, Cody Boker, and Gabe Craig, I think could all be on the table as guys that could possibly be fast tracks. I wouldn't rule out Obermuller as well, but I think those 3 guys right now are guys that I think the Phillies could potentially look into trying to fast track because they know this bullpen isn't where they need it to be. They know that it's not good enough. And, I think they got to a point where this year they started to draft more college pitchers that can come up through the system faster because they didn't have any bullpen depth down in the minors. And I think they're tired of trading prospects for rental bullpen pieces at the deadline. If you go and you look at this bullpen, it's not good. We know that. Jordan Romano has been a bust, unfortunately. Joe Ross has been a bust, unfortunately. Tanner Banks, Daniel Roberts, Seth Johnson, Max Azar, those last 3 guys I named are good, but I don't think anyone wants them taking down postseason innings, right? This team needs to stop selling prospects for bullpen pieces every single year because they can't find them. And I think this list of guys, specifically, like I said, Gage Wood, Cody Boker out of Vanderbilt, and Gabe Craig specifically. I will say Gage Wood and Gabe Craig are probably the 2 most likely if there were to be a fast track situation. But nonetheless, I think that is the approach that the Phillies took into this year. I did want to give a big shout out really quick to Landon Schaefer down there at the bottom, 20th round selection. Oh, wait, no. Logan Dawson. I apologize. Logan Dawson, 16th round. He went to Eastern High School in New Jersey. It's about 25 minutes of me. So big shout out to the South Jersey boy. Other than that, this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. Before we get out of here really quick, I just want to remind you guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. If you guys enjoy these draft pick videos, baseball is not like football. It's not like basketball. you rarely see your pick that year or the next year. So if you guys want me to continue to keep making videos on these draft picks and the prospects specifically, maybe even like a prospect weekly kind of roundup, let me know down in the comments. But this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. Once again, my name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.